Hello and welcome to Apex Racing TV and the Obscure Car Challenge. My name's Sam Fitzpatrick and alongside me is Sam Kumo, and we're here for this very unique event in which we've got 4 classes today, which are going to be going at battle around this Monza combined circuit. Sam, this is we're making a trend of this Saturday evening races where we have a bit of a fun events on our hands. This is a properly fun event. We've got a few archive cars along with the up-to-date C7 Daytona prototype as well. Battling around this pretty legendary circuit. I mean, the minds who came up with this one were either inspired or stupid. We'll find out over the next 50 minutes which one it was.
Hello everyone. Yeah, I would say inspired, and I am absolutely loving this. We don't often see some of these cars. For example, we got the well, it's okay. Yeah, that's Aston Martin. It took me a moment to even recognize it because it almost looks like the Porsche from the front.
It does actually, yeah.
But it sounds so nice. And then we also have the Audis. Let's see, do we have anyone on the track? Yes, we do. We have Martin Gretschek here on the Audi 90 GTO, which is something that we also don't see that often. Okay, it does run in the Camel GTs, but it has always been a very niche series, and I absolutely love this car, but I cannot drive it. It's one of those, like, I really like the idea of it, but I'm just terrible driving with it.
I'm sure we're going to see some very good driving out there. I'd say 3 classes today. Apologies, I said 4 at the top, but 3 classes today. And they're going to have pit stops. It's a weird circuit this. It's a very long circuit this. 2-minute 30 lap times we're getting. And I guess it would be more awkward, I guess, if you had like a tight twisty circuit attached to an oval. Thankfully for these guys, Monza normally is pretty low downforce. But the oval is going to be a lot of fun. Remember, this oval was derelict, I think, by about the 1970s. Hasn't been used ever since. Fortunately, iRacing, when they popped down to Monza, they scanned it anyway, and now we have this very unique double layouts, basically, and we're about to see, I think, a little bit in a moment with Martin, how the circuit will go onto the oval in a second. We'll have to take a tight line through Parabolica. It's pretty crazy how we've got this on iRacing, but it's fantastic that we've got a track from decades of gone by.
Yeah, absolutely. And this main straight looks really weird here because now we are just actually taking half of it. So this is very narrow here, but then we go back to the old oval. As I think Martin is finishing up his qualifying. Do we have anyone else who is about to start? John Ford with his Corvette GT1. And this actually this right-hander to the oval is actually the turn 1 on this layout. So it really gets you up to speed. And I don't think we will have many turn 1 issues as we usually see on the more traditional Monza courses that we end up having.
Yeah, certainly hope not. I think it's something like 51 degrees of banking here, which is more than any real-life circuit nowadays. That is, I think Talladega, has 33 degrees banking, or Daytona has 33 degrees to banking. Anyone on the YouTube chat, feel free to correct me on that one. I believe that's pretty much as much as you can get. This is in a different league to that. Very short oval in comparison to the road circuit. And by the end of this straight, going 290 kilometers an hour is John Ford in that Corvette GT1. However, he goes a little bit too deep and was hesitant too long on the throttle there. We've currently got 22 cars who have set qualifying times, pretty healthy numbers in each of the classes. As currently Nicholas Helm, James King and Casper de Court as the fastest drivers. However, we have still got 3 more minutes to go in qualifying. 3 laps these drivers are allowed to put in, as we see Chris Bassett trying to improve on his time. He's currently in 7th place in his class, although he is now going to take back to the pits.
Also a good point from Brandon in the YouTube chat. What about Bristol? Yes,
Oh,
because
good point.
Bristol is really short and I think it does have a much higher banking.
I will investigate what the banking at Bristol is. But you're
It's
absolutely right.
definitely
That
much
was
shorter than this, so you would have to have a much higher banking to maintain the speed. And while Sam is looking up that info, let's just go over a few of the rules for this one. So basically we have now 3 classes, the data and the prototypes, they are in the class of their own. Then we have the GT1s, which is that's basically the GT1 class of iRacing, so that's the Corvettes and Aston Martins. Both the BPs, Daytona prototypes and GT1s, they do not have any fuel limitation or handicap. But then in the GT2s, because we have such a wide mix of cars from the Audi 90 GTOs to Chevrolets, and what is else in here? The 4 GT3s, then of course we have to have some kind of ballast here. So Audi gets 100 kilograms ballast and 63% fuel limit. So it should be about half an hour that it can do on full tank. And then with the Cadillac, there is no weight penalty because it is a bit heavier car. So, but we still have a 64% limit on the fuel. And for GT3, it's an older car, so also no weight limit, but also 59% fuel cap.
Yep, so we'll see all those elements come into play during the 15 minutes. I've investigated. Bristol, only 24 degrees banking. That's not as much as we thought. So Talladega 33, Bristol 24. This place, like I said, I think it's about 45 degrees banking around this place. So it is still the one to beat, the most steep of banking that I think we have on all of our racing. So what an awesome opportunity to see these cars in play. Not normally oval cars, but well, they're going to have to be today if they're going to be able to win. 20 seconds to go in qualifying, so of course John Ford isn't going to be able to get in this lap time. I think he's already set all his lap times anyway, just trying to get in a bit of extra practice. Wolf Anderson also out on circuit, but he's not going to complete his lap time either. And very soon we'll be able to advance over to the race. Rolling start, we assume, for this race. And could be a very exciting start. I'm sure it's going to be exciting from start to finish. Draft heavy, to say the least, around this place. So here we are then for this obscure car challenge. And in the top class, it's Nicholas Helm, car 777, on pole position by 0.2 of a second, a 2-minute 33.073. So that looks pretty healthy. Going to be a tight battle there. James Rivett in second place. Then it's Jeffrey Belk, Frank Oosterhuis, Ash Fletcher, Alex Holloway, and Maximilian Mueller in 7th place. Also hope to see Christopher Mitchison on the grid, however he didn't set a qualifying time. In the second class, James King starts on pole with Herbert Frosch behind him. Then it's Ian Arasmus, John Ford, Tom Van Putt, Gavin Boyette, Chris Bassett, and Robert King. A couple of those guys mixing around with the third category. In fact, very small gaps between each of these classes, so we could see quite a bit of class interaction probably. Philippe Paver on the front of this one. Then it's Casper de Court, Dan Mueller, Richard Bell, Robert Murphy, Rolf Anderson, Taylor Stallworthy, and Brandon Ward. Hopefully Niles Sinkowski, Martin Krajcek, Alexander Veldman, and Michael Frost will take the start. Frost was just doing the UV8 Supercar Series not 1 hour ago, just as I was commentating on it. He was taking part, but he's quickly jumped ship. Quickly, well, probably not a ship, but a very fast train/car to get over to Monza to take the grid. And he has taken the grid. There you are. So watch out for him from the back of the field. This is going back. Just looking at the lap times, actually, Sam, they are really close these times. So the pole sitter Nicholas Helm did a 2-minute 33, but then the fastest of the third class, Felipe Paper, only 8 seconds slower, and around such a long circuit. If these guys can stay in a slipstream, we might not see these classes necessarily divide one another.
No, I think we do have top speed differences, I think, but even like interclasses, there's been, as far as I know, there's been a lot of studying down on the ballasts, so there should be fairly balanced. Also, before we start, let me just give a huge shout out to Taylor Stallworthy, Jeffrey Belk, and JD Face for following us and joining in for this really exciting special event.
Definitely. Sure, everyone's looking for, since they got the Mustang pace car. This is what we're talking about, guys. Superb race management. Anyone who doesn't know, the Mustang used to be the pace car, and then iRacing tampered with it, and they brought in the Rough and the Porsche. It's far worse than the traditional Mustang, but the Mustang is bringing them round and will soon come into the pits. Remember, it's the oval first, and then we'll have the Grand Prix circuit for the drivers to deal with. So there's going to be a big opportunity at some overtakes straight off from the starts here. It's Nicholas Helm on pole position, James Rivett in second position. The pace car is going to come into the pits, and Helm has the choice when to go. Here he goes, well before the green flag, and we are away for 50 minutes of racing at Monza combined.
Yeah, clean start so far on this narrow straight, and so we do have the other two classes that are giving plenty of space for these guys to go. And now we also see the GT1 starting. That is James Keane leading the way, but right behind me that's a close battle between Herbert Frosch and Ian Erasmus. Side by side here on the old banking.
Almost 3 wide. Oh, massive
this
contact, and that's a
major
lot
issue.
of cars round. Are we going to get a caution, I wonder, because I think the next class is going to be coming in very soon.
Here they come.
John Ford trying
There
to
is
get back
still
going.
stop
As long as he
traffic on
doesn't
the-
go into the middle of the circuit, he should be alright.
Yeah, it's just clear that it's only John Ford who is moving slowly, but everyone is able to avoid him so far.
It's Philippe Paver leading the way in the Cadillacs. Incredible speed produced by these guys. 300 kilometers an hour from these Mustangs. They are incredibly fast, faster, I think, than the GT1s.
And it seems
Paver's
like
going
they
to
are
be
faster
done, I
than
think,
the
around the
Audis as well.
outside by Bell. Sorry.
Yeah.
Paver gets back ahead though, so Bell couldn't quite make it stick. As long as he stays in the toe though, you can understand how he's going to be in with a good chance in just half a lap's time, I guess, once the GP circuit is complete. And they are catching up to a couple of the GT1s ahead who may well be having damage after their contacts earlier on.
Yeah, who is that in front? That is Robert King. Oh, right, almost missed this one. The Rally DPs, they are actually in the GT1 category with 200 kilogram weight ballast. So we have the old and the new Daytona prototypes here.
The Riley was a big favourite amongst drivers. It's well before my time, but I've always heard very good things of the Riley DP. However, it needs to shed off a bit of that lead because it's going to be overtaken very soon.
Yeah, that's don't want to put Ian. No, sorry, that's Kevin Boyet. Having an issue here. Is that Ascari? But they are able to continue. Let's also take a look at the new data for that category. We are moving on here on the straights.
There's a car in the middle of the circuit. Ian Erasmus as I just spun it at the parabolica corner. However, I think he's got away from it all right. But yeah, out in lead of the DPs. Muller under massive pressure from behind. Going under the yellow line is second place man Alex Holloway. I think that's just about legal, I guess, but not 100% sure on that.
And we also have a battle for the lead here between two teammates of Mason Motorsports. James Rivet and Jeffrey Belloc. But still keeping clean. We did also have some issues in the GT2 class, I believe. And it is kind of all mixed up here with the GT1s and GT2s. Yeah,
the Cadillacs are very much within the GT1s now, as Julian Bell is being overtaken by Felipe Pava. So they are, the Cadillacs do seem to be faster than these GT1 cars, which looks relatively strange, these V12 machines of the GT1s being overtaken by almost the touring car-esque Cadillacs. However, Bell trying to come back straight away. These guys kind of not racing against each other, but well, they are racing against each other at the moment, and Bell should be faster under acceleration and through the corners, and I think the Cadillacs are going to be much faster through the oval section, so it'll be an interesting dynamic. Richard Bell, I think, is dropping down the order and has got big issues.
Yeah, he's spun on here on the chicane. It was kind of a bad place, he couldn't just reach on and had to wait for everyone to go through. And that is Taylor Storwolty in his very nice looking ice cream Cadillac. Oh, not that nice looking on the other side. I think that is a lot of damage.
You see, I didn't have trading paints on, and I'm seeing a Liverpool badge on the side of this car. So we've learnt a lot about Taylor. He likes Liverpool, and he eats a lot of Ben & Jerry's. So there you go. I mean, very happy man, I imagine, with how Liverpool are currently doing in the Premier League, and Ben & Jerry's are still making ice cream. So living the life is Taylor at the moment. In the lead of the DPs is still Rivet, who's actually pulled out a little bit of a gap to the other DPs. However, it's pretty close behind that. Oosterhuis, who's getting a couple of places so far. Very few of these DPs having issues so far. In fact, the top 8 are still separated by just 5.5 seconds, as they are going to catch back up to the leader. 3 wide. Oosterhuis in 4th position now. And going to be under massive pressure is Rivet on the brakes.
Oh,
and spinning around is Oosterhuis. And also
please don't back on the...
3 of them all made mistakes. And so now the race leader is Jeffrey Belk, because he was the only one who got through the chicane cleanly. One of them spun on the entry. One of them went straight on. And I don't even know what happened to the other one. So that's remarkable. 4 went in, only 1 came out.
Yeah, I think that was Fletcher who spun, and James Rivet, I didn't actually see what caused his issue, but he is now all the way back to 4th place. And we have more issues here. And that is a bit of a traffic jam with that's Niklas Hjelm and Christopher Mitrios with very good looking classic Mazda livery. That's the renowned.
He actually got hit by Fletcher and brakes, and went spinning round. A bit of damage as well to Fletcher's car now.
And also it looks a lot of damage on Rivet's car. Basically on all of these 3, I think. Rivet is now just falling back, so that might be major aero damage. And meanwhile in the GTEs, basically Felipe Paiva is having no issues, and he is, I think, chasing actually the GT1 leader already.
Yeah, he was up. He got up into 2nd place in the GT1s not too long ago, and he's just been ever so quick in that. Like, I mean, it's so quick down the street. It's like 300k. It's like I was saying before. That's faster than GT1s by about 20 kilometers an hour, I think. So no wonder that he's doing quite so well. Also, Kasper Court doing pretty well. There's that's about between Mueller and Sinkowski currently. They are going side by side. Another Cadillac battle. And Mueller just having to back out of this one. Sinkowski gets ahead and now actually pulls a nice gap because the driver who lost out dropped, had to use a lot of curb. Could we ride on board with the GT, the Audi just behind? Because it might be quite interesting to see what the straight line speed of these Cadillacs are through the oval section.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see the massive understeer here on the entry. Let's see the difference. He is slightly catching up to Muller, but it might be that once we get to about over 260, he might see the Cadillacs pulling away, but Murphy is able to keep up fairly well here. Let's see, he is running at 300.
Yep, with the toe, yeah, he's breaking the 300 kilometer barrier. That's about 185 miles an hour.
But the bad news for him is that the Cadillacs in front of him are doing 300 without the toe, so...
Yeah. I guess it comes to a point where you're just maxing out on the rev limiter.
Yeah, exactly.
We really need more races around this circuit. I mean, ARLTC next season, we've got the calendar for that already sorted, but I reckon season 2, we could definitely have around this place. Maybe even week 13 we could do it. Apologies to Obscure Car Challenge, who have brought in a superb event for this, and we're nicking all their ideas. And, what can we do instead? So apologies for that. Murphy absolutely storming around, so maybe these Audis are faster than the Cadillacs, because, I mean, all of a sudden, well, if you're going to do that, it's not going to be any faster because he's hit the wall, and that's not the fastest way to get around the circuit. The 34 car does a bit of a reverse.
He's joined by...
Oh, well, I mean, you couldn't have... The 33 car couldn't have done a better job there at hitting as well. That was Brandon Ward. Who, I don't know if he has something against his rival or something, but was desperate to hit the 34, it seemed there.
Yeah, we also had Michael Frost having some issues there. But I'm surprised that when we were on board, you could clearly see how much earlier Murphy was having to break into the usual turn 1, the chicane, whereas the Cadillacs could go so much deeper in there. So maybe... Even if you have the 4-wheel drive, it's only giving you maybe the benefit on the acceleration. But even then you have a much narrower power band because of the very old school style turbo engine. Whereas the Cadillac is naturally aspirated with a huge amount of torque that you can just use through the tight chicanes.
Yeah, it could certainly be the case. We've got this weird situation now where we've got drivers driving parallel to one another. You kind of think if someone hits the wall pretty hard, that might be a bit of a shock for drivers who are half a lap in front of them and are all of a sudden occupying the same piece of tarmac as the other car. Oosterhuis losing out there to Mueller big time. Apologies to Helm, who's done well actually to recover his Helm. Seeing there, you got spun round. By the way, a couple of penalties being given out to drivers. There was one. Yeah, Tom Van Put was black flagged because of avoidable contact, so that'll be a drive-through penalty for him.
And trying to find where is he actually.
24th place at the moment. There he is.
So he is actually way behind right now. Kind of in a gap of his own. Meanwhile, we still have this battle between the GT1 and GT2, Philip Paiva and John Ford. Ford is able now get by Paiva, but we'll see. We have seen how fast Paiva is, and he might actually be able to just make use of the draft that he gets from the Corvette. Unless he slips which is not gonna help him.
So just to be clear, so Ford and Paver aren't in the same class though, are they?
No, Ford is in the Corvette GT1, and that is a very, very broken Daytona prototype there that they are just passing. That was actually the second place runner in the GT1s. That's Chris Bassett.
Wow, so big issues for Bassett. I'll try to figure out what's happened.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out.
It couldn't have been a slowdown because he was really slow.
No, I don't see him having any crash. So has he just over-revved the car? Because it seems pretty nice so far. But the engine is dead, I think. No, it's
Well,
not.
it's on the track now.
Yeah, he's now in the pits.
Well, that's unlucky. I don't know if maybe that's taking you back to 1980s motorsport or something, but seems a bit cruel. Something like that. They do get fast repairs, 2 fast repairs, so that car will magically reappear. I guess he might still only have to make 2 pit stops. So, of course, these guys limited to 81% fuel limits. 200 kilos of weight added. Is it 1 or 2 stops we're expecting?
With the Riley, we are getting the information that with the limited fuel tank you have, they would normally pit at around 38 minutes, so that would be 1 stopper for the Riley, the old Riley DP.
So we'll see if he can get to the end of the race now from this distance.
Mm-hmm. And that promotes Kevin Boyett to the 4th place actually in the GT2 class, GT1 class. Sorry.
Boyett still having to make this move on Brandon Ward. Better on the brakes. Or was he outbraking himself? Oh, well, it looks as though he got it stopped and then really stamped on the brakes right at the end and locked the rear tyres.
Yeah, I just got a little bit loose on the entry.
Oh, I said he did a good job getting back going. It took him a little while in the end, but he got away. I believe it's a V12 in that Corvette, so it must be pretty tricky.
No, Corvette it's V8.
Oh, apologies. Okay. Of course, new time model as well for the GT1s.
Ah, that's actually true.
The first cars to bring it because that was very much in demand. I'm annoyed because the DP didn't get the new time model, and it doesn't look like they're going to get the new time model for the next build. By the way, I absolutely adore the Corvette C7 DP. I drove it for pretty much probably about 9 months in my early iRacing career. Obviously didn't have much success, but it's amazing fun. It was a great community in the IMSA sports car series on iRacing, and yeah, well, it was amazing, but unfortunately, not used as much anymore.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the new Corvette DP. I did race the old Riley Daytona prototype in the Pro Series and crashed out of the first race in the first corner, and that's basically I had enough of the Daytona prototypes at that point.
Old Belk is going to be overtaken here, I think, by Maximilian Müller. We saw him make a mistake beforehand at turn 1 or turn 5, I guess, but now it's Müller. He moves ahead then. Very nicely done.
Yeah,
that's odd from Belk
able
because
to keep up, so
he'd broken the draft.
Mm-hmm. And also we have Niklas Hjelm. He is also not too far behind. Goria crashes over to his curbs. But it seems like Niklas has some slight damage to the right side of his car. So I think we are about to see move again for the first place.
It's difficult to know where you want to be going on to the last lap. I guess it's not easy to overtake on the GP circuit, which will be the last kind of layout that they have to do. But probably at this point, if you're going on to the last lap, you can't want to be behind because then you can get a nice slingshot from this position, just as Belk is doing. Goes to the low line. No opportunity to defend from that situation, but now of course your rover's going to get the slipstream instead. These guys are going 290 kilometers an hour, so you can understand the Cadillacs are faster. Cadillacs are faster down the straights, at least at top end speed. But of course through the corners, these DP cars are significantly faster than anything else out on circuit. Do get up to 300 kilometers to be fair, but yeah, it's pretty much matching the Audi and the Cadillac, and then a little bit faster than the GT1s. Here comes Helm as well. Helm's been absolutely phenomenal recently, and Helm might just take the lead here as we are halfway round lap 8. That was perfect. Yeah. See that, third in line, slipstream past both of them, and you got the position. Belk is going to have to drop down to third place now.
Yeah, Helm just timed it perfectly because this is really where you want to be in the lead. Now we are entering the road course section really, and this is where the overtaking is much more difficult, so if he can just maintain the gap and even open up the gap, he should be safe. Oh, Boyet, what's going on here?
Was in 4th place?
He stays where he is because he was behind Chris Bassett, who did his fast repair.
Seemed to be unsettled on the brakes going into the Sky chicane, and then spun it round, did the car number 16. Didn't lose too much time. Also off is Robert Murphy.
Plenty of runoff area there, so he is able to join.
Incident between car 957 and 33. No further action due to 957 leaving the race. That was Michael Frost. And car number 33 is, we did see them earlier on. It was the Brandon Ward, wasn't it? He was desperate to hit Robert Murphy earlier on for some sort of reason. I don't know if those guys have some kind of disagreements which they wanted to sort out on circuits.
So Brandon is in the pits, yeah.
Virtual race.
And as we turn to John Ford, he also has a small incident here. And that actually promotes Felipe Paiva to the lead of the whole GT class in his GT2 Corvette, Cadillac.
Yep. I still can't get over how quick the Cadillac is. I didn't realise it was this quick. It's an absolute beast of a machine. I mean, why don't they have these in Formula 1 or Le Mans? It'd blow everything out of the water. It is some machine, this Cadillac. Still not being lapped, by the way. They're only 1 minute 12 off the race leaders. So still gonna be on about lap 16. Then that they're going to be lapped. So that they're only going to be lapped once in this race. Just shows the pace of these Cadillacs. And yeah, Felipe Paiva doing a very good job holding the lead.
And we have the lead battle here still going on in the Corvette DPS. They have Audi in front of them, but that is really fast out of the corner, so they just couldn't catch it at all.
Oh, they got him on the brake side. One gets past 18. That's Maximilian Müller.
Oh, that...
He has to really hesitate, and he's dropped now 1.3 seconds behind. Who's that in the wall?
Yeah, I'm just trying to take a look at who that was. Was that... Was it Tom? Yeah, Tom Warmut. He is currently 1 lap. No, he is still in the race. Of course, 1 lap down to the leaders now.
Of course, got a penalty earlier on. Had to serve a stop-go penalty. And it's a long pit lane here. So, and it really kills your momentum going onto the oval as well. So massive penalty if you do get a stop-go. I don't know what's with this slipstream, but I swear in the TPs it's activated like 1.5 seconds behind because Helm's now being caught by Mulo again. So it was up to 1.3 and now it's back down to 0.8 of a second. And by the time we get into, do you call it NASCAR turn 3? I guess you call it oval turn 3. He's going to be under pressure again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think NASCAR ever drove here or competed here. So I think they used like some old... yeah, it was the old Formula 1 cars that they used.
Yep. They did use the combined layout for a few years, didn't they? Of course, Monza hosting a Grand Prix every year apart from 82 or something when Imola held it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but certainly has hosted more F1 races than any other circuit.
Yeah, I mean the layout has seen some changes over the years, but more or less it's still the same track. Maybe a few extra chicanes, but I think it's gonna be still in the calendar for a while. And why not? It's a good track. As we see, Jeffrey Belk challenging Niklas Helm for the lead, but Helm is on the inside and that is where you want to be here. Belk actually running a little bit too deep there, losing some time.
Of course, these DP drivers will have the opportunity to change their ARBs during the lap. So you can, it's one of the in-car adjustments, and it really does help you out, particularly when you've got tyre wear, where you can change the balance of the car a little bit. That's literally the only technical information I've ever given about the cars in iRacing. So savour that one. I do actually know something because, once again, it's such a good car. It's a shame that no one drives the DP. It's got the perfect mix between GT cars and prototypes. But yeah, not used a whole lot. Off the circuit is Mueller. And he's 1.6 seconds behind now as he dropped the draft, and that could be very costly.
Yeah, we also have the pit stops coming in.
Start fighting.
So I think now is where the GT2s will do their pit stops. And also I got really confused with Veltman's paint job, because that's the new Ford GT livery on the old car. So I thought had he actually sneaked in the GTE in here, but nope.
Looks really cool, to be fair, that livery on that car.
And he's not doing too bad. It's currently 5th place in class with a car that I don't think is really competitive compared to other GT3 cars.
Let's see what speed he gets to then. 274 I'm currently seeing. He's been caught by the GT1s just behind. 284, 285, yeah, so probably maxing out about 290, so it is about 10 k's down. But it's crazy how all these cars are actually so evenly matched. Maybe that was part of the thinking, but through the corners, obviously, they vary massively. But down the straights, they can all stick with one another's as long as they have the draft.
Yeah, I think the difference is just mainly down to the downforce, and the power difference is not that huge between these three classes. So that's kind of what's going to end up being the deciding factor at such a high speeds, because that's when you get the draft and the aerodynamic drag that will cause you really the main issue there, and that's where you only really need to have plenty of power and very little aerodynamics. As John Ford makes his way past these two.
Yeah, to Court and Veldman, of course, properly rating one another. We're now at the halfway mark, so if you pit now, then it is just one pit stop. So it seems like it is one pit stop for everyone. Yeah, seems like one pit stop is possible. Of course, if you picked up damage earlier on in the race, then you might need one more pit stop. Seeing a few off tracks around this track, I guess it is possible, but on the oval, probably not so many off tracks being picked up.
Yeah,
otherwise, you are probably being impelled by a tree.
Yeah, if you got the off track on the oval, you are either in the wall or off the track completely in the forest. As Veldman got a good run here, and might be actually going for the move on the outside.
Yep, moves ahead, does the GT2 car. Shows the good straight lines, the good acceleration of the GT2 car. However, it's then, and do the parabolica as well, can pull away. And then De Courts will release the nitros almost in that Cadillac, it seems, to put some more pressure on his rival, I imagine. Also, Dan Muller just coming out of the pits behind them. He's not too far behind. And also Sinkowski as well coming out.
Yeah, that's Dan Muller joining 5th. But he should be ahead of these guys because... Let's see, when did they actually pit?
Couple of laps ago.
Okay, so... Let's see, should they be good to go to the end?
Yeah, I think they pitted on the 25-minute mark. So
yeah, that's fine because it's 28 minutes that you can run with the Cadillac, so they are good to go now.
Well, Paver's still going in this Cadillac, and he's been going now for 29 minutes, so I guess he's got to pit on this lap. He's done very well to get this far. He'll get to half an hour by the time he gets to the pits. And he hasn't had a massive draft necessarily. He was making some moves early on, but since then it's mainly kind of just been not so many moves. He's kind of been working it by himself.
Yeah, and I think like when you're actually just running your own race, being able to set a steady pace, that's when you get the good mileage. Because if you're just battling with each other and having to take awkward lines and slowing too much on the corners, that's when you start burning up the extra fuel.
Should be a 20-second pit stop for Paver. He had a healthy lead before that. He's actually 55 seconds ahead. Is Felipe Paver, who does come into the pits.
And he hands over the GT lead to Herbert Fröschl. Okay, they are in different classes, but still the GT cars.
Fröschl actually pitted on that one, by the way. I did not know that, but yeah, he did pit. We'll have to pit again now.
Yes.
They're taking tyres, these drivers, it seems.
Are there? Is Paver also taking tyres?
I don't think Paver is taking tyres. Or did he? I don't know. Let us know on the chats. So where is Decor? He's coming around the Parabolica, I think, is Decor's currently. So it's still quite a big gap because you lose so much time just accelerating away. Bassett Bassett coming out of the pits as well.
But he's also losing time here battling.
It's about 15 seconds between first and second now in the third division.
Yeah, also Philip's pit stop time was 19 seconds, so I think that is only fuel.
Yeah. Car number 17, stop and go for too many incidents.
That is Ash Fletcher here, and he is adding a few more, just in case. He's actually our last running Corvette DP. Currently 20 second overall.
Well, brilliant battle behind Decourts currently with Santowski and Veldman side by side. King is just behind, and then I think we've got a Riley DP who might be a lap down as well in amongst these drivers.
Yeah. Zemkovsky trying to make a move actually on the DP there. Well,
that was Belk as well, I think. He's in amongst these guys. No, sorry, Mueller.
Yeah.
By the way, the DP drivers kind of separating a bit at the moment. So Helm, after remember dropping down to about probably 5th or 6th place early on with a spin, has been the fastest driver for the most of the race. Of course, got pole position as well, and he's lapping a couple of seconds lap faster than Jeffrey Belk. So now is 4 seconds ahead. Maximilian Mueller further 1.5 seconds back, and there's Oosterhuis 6.5 seconds back. So has separated quite a bit these DPs. However, wouldn't bet against them joining back up later on, especially if maybe if you've saved a little bit of fuel, you can have a very short pit stop potentially to get to the end of the race.
Yeah, I don't think they need to do any kind of fuel saving. Maybe he just looking to match specific lap that he wants to do the pit stop on, because with these cars, the estimate is about 42 minutes that you can do, so they shouldn't be anywhere close to their pit stop window. And also shout out to John McCutchinson for following us on the YouTube, and thanks for coming along for this very special event. As here we go, 3 wide in the old circuit.
Just enough space. Been so good at these drivers to not make contact so far. That's a curse if there ever was one. But Decor and Centowski pulling away in their Cadillacs, but now giving the draft to the DP and the GT2 car just behind. Neck and neck, Centowski moving back ahead. And now it's Decor moving ahead.
Let's just go on board with Osterhuis right behind them. Osterhuis is actually running third overall. Oh, that is a wall contact for
Yeah, it was.
Zentkowski.
Three wides. Oh, the DP I thought was going to come across.
The core has the inside line. Now he's on the outside.
Centowski gets ahead. And now Veldman is right back with these guys. I think he dropped... well, Veldman, of course, is in the Ford GT2, isn't he? So he seems to have a slower car. Well, I don't know, I say that. I mean, under acceleration, the GT2 cars are faster, but at top-end speed, when it's a bit slower.
These are in the same class. This is the Ford GT3 versions, a little bit less power, as they are passing the Audi. But the challenge with the old Ford GT is the really indirect feeling of the steering, and you really have to work hard to get rid of the high-speed understeer. It's fine on the slow speeds, but I find that like when you take it to high-speed track, such as this one or Spa, you really start to struggle with the fast corners.
So 13.5 minutes to go in this race, and of course we'll complete the lap that we start to finish the event. And anything could happen still. We're really getting a lot of class interaction now with the DP drivers making their way up through the lapped drivers.
Yeah, and here we just saw Veldman having that high-speed understeer on the entry. And this has allowed Kasper to open up the gap slightly, but as they are entering the banking here, I think Veldman will be able to catch up.
Certainly, Decor is catching up to Centowski. Big draft effect in this Cadillac, because he was about about a second behind was Decor, but all of a sudden making up big time.
I mean, Centowski is giving some bump drafting here with the Corvette.
Oh, and Decor just goes straight past. What's Centowski playing at? He's absolutely been mugged to Milan and back.
I have to see that again.
I mean, the overs, it was as though he was driving backwards. Why is he giving him a bump job? Should have pulled out. And now he's so far behind. Decor going 300 kilometers an hour comfortably. It was probably going faster than that for a moment.
That's insane overspeed.
Centowski's still within 0.8 of a second, and he's now got past that GT1 car.
I mean, the Cadillac is kind of shaped like a brick, so maybe you really need the draft to move it anywhere.
Perhaps, yeah. Got James Rivet currently catching up to...
Weltman
Ooh,
not
yeah.
pointing the right way.
He's going to be overtaken by... No, is he going to be overtaken? It depends when he gets back going.
Yeah, but he has
Thanks
very
to,
little room here.
Kredrick is just behind. You'll see him in the background.
Yeah, he's actually the first or leading Audi that we have here.
And also Richard Bell is quite close to him. I think De Court and Sentowski are going to go for another, but it's just fun watching them on the oval, to be honest. We could watch this all day long. They're going past the 23 car. The 23 car is... James King.
Yeah. Who we also see often in this broadcast that we do.
So, the core needs to think, I'm not going to give this guy a bump draft. Just get past him straight away. I don't know if Sentowski maybe just didn't have the overdrive or something to get past the GT2, but it was ridiculous, the overspeed that the car behind got. This time, actually, he's not catching too much, so maybe DeCourt is running less downforce than Sentowski, running slightly narrower rear wing, or maybe that draft from the Ford ahead is helping him out, getting up to 307 kilometers an hour in the draft.
Yeah, nyt on passing the Corvette, which should be faster car. But I think Sentowski is also waiting because you kind of want to make the pass here, get the overspeed and clear the car in front before going to the turn one, but he got a little bit of jump there on the exit and that might have just saved off some speed. They go side by side, but that is not quite enough.
Oh, the Corvette's just missed the corner. Oh, we'll give that man a medal because he was going to hit the Cadillacs and he's gone, nah, I'm going to miss the corner and miss the Cadillacs. Hero that we all deserve. That was very good driving. Not well, I say that. I mean, usually when you miss the chicane at Monza, that's not good driving. But in that situation, it was very good driving.
And he has taken the fast repair, I think. It's currently in the pit, so that is towing. And oh, and by the way, on this track, the tow might take some time.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a long circuit, isn't it? It's not necessarily down to... It's such a fast circuit that, yeah, the tow's going to take a while. Even though you might be literally stationed just outside it. If you're going down the back straight.
Yep. Now we also have the leading Corvette prototypes coming in. We did have the other ones pitting one lap earlier, but now Helm and Müller will be coming in.
We've been seeing about 7.5 seconds for Rivets earlier on. That was on lap 3 though, so you might have to pit again. The other pit stop we've seen 11.6 for Belk. And 8.8
Helm is taking tires, I think.
Ooh.
And we did see the car on the lifts.
Oh, is Rivet going to be able to get past?
Actually, Rivet has gotten the first place. Because you lose so much speed there, coming out of the pits.
Belt's got past as well, so it's now Rivet, Belt, Hell. And they've got the DeCourt and Sentowski as well. Battling with them. Come on, DeCourt, go get past the C7 leader. This is the proper hierarchy in this race. The Cadillac's cruising past. There we go. That's lovely to see.
I'm getting the feeling that you are really starting to like these Cadillacs.
I might have to take... we need a Cadillac series, maybe ARL Cadillac. I don't know, just around Monza combined as well. Just have it round ovals. I mean, it's so quick. So quick. It's gonna be done though on the brakes, I imagine.
Yeah, here we have the prototypes coming through.
Oh, that's not bad. It might stay ahead of one of them. Yeah, it's going to stay ahead of one of them. That's nice. So Belt gets past. Vivid, apologies, Vivid lost. Oh dear, Vivid has he's got spun round.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, that's a
I
shame.
think he's just spun, getting too hard on the power.
I'm not sure if he has to pit again, Vivid, because he pitted it on lap 3. But these DPs go absolutely ages, it seems, on fuel. I remember them going like 45 minutes normally, and these guys are limited to 81% fuel, so I'm surprised they've been able to go as long as they have done.
No, these are not limited, so they can go
I'm
about
looking at
42.
Oh yes,
yeah, because we have 2 prototypes here, Rileys and Corvettes.
I just realised that all the information I was getting from the fuel was not on the car that I was pointed at, but on the car that I picked before the session, and that is the Riley.
Yeah, that was my confusion through most of the qualifying.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess they go less long, or they go shorter because of the amount of straights around this circuit, but still 40 minutes these DPs can go. I guess we just saw Helm go about 42 minutes, so you know, even better than what we thought. Maybe a little bit of slipstream involved. So Belk leads then with the undercut. He had a 5-second short to pit stop with did Belk. But I'm still surprised he managed to get ahead, because Helm had like a 6-second gap before they came into the pits. So nicely done from the American. Helm's got it all to do if he's going to win this race. Almost certainly going to come down to a drag race to the line, I imagine. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's surprising how long pit stop Hjelm has had. It's 16.5 seconds compared to Belk's 11.5, and Belk pitted 3 laps earlier, so he should have needed even less fuel. So I don't know. Maybe it's not the tires. Maybe he just took some extra fuel just in case.
We've got to get back past Muller. Pretty sure all these guys have led the race, even Oosterhuis as well has led the race at one point. Only the one retiree, Ash Fletcher, who started in 5th place, did Fletcher, so he was probably in the lead battle as well at the start. The only retiree out of these DPs. Rivik gets past, bit of damage on that car. Tries to get the inside line covered. Doesn't really need to in the end as well, but backs out of it. They catch up to the Audi at an insane rate. Okay, so much more speed.
No, that's not Audi, that's the Daytona prototype. Just look at the speed difference there.
Yeah.
Insane.
Is that the Texaco logo?
Yeah, that's the Texaco livery on that one.
Clearly that fuel's not doing him any good. Apologies to Texaco. Don't have any Ferraris out here, so no Shell branding out on circuits. Helm has just got past Bell.
So
How's
this
that
actually
happened?
happened here. So was that a mistake from Belk?
Because he was like a second ahead, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like a second and a half ahead.
Now let's see. No, they were close here, so
I think he literally just caught him on the oval. Yeah, he caught a nice margin, to be fair, through the first chicane as well. But the slipstream effect in the DP is just ridiculous. I don't remember it being this powerful.
I was looking at then Belk is not really closing in that much. So does he actually have some air damage that is possibly slowing him down? I see a little bit of damage to the rear left.
He's closing in a bit, but it's not much. He will be able to overtake him on the oval, but safe to say, Helm has got a much faster car.
Yeah, and we could actually see on the straight that there is some suspicious damage to Belk's car, as the steering was slightly tilted to the left side. And now he's actually lifting off, following Hjelm. But I believe it is just to set up the overtake.
If you got the star car, you kind of want to be leading. Right? You want to have track position whenever you can. So you'd expect he'll try to overtake, but then I guess if he pulls out, then if he has got some aero damage, then he's going to pick up a bit of extra drag and lose that position again.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to make a move because next lap is going to be the last lap.
Yeah,
I think what he's just planning here is staying behind and then making the move where it actually matters.
Oh, he's gone too deep. Oh, he's dropped to 9/10 of a second. And he's barely in the draft now. He might gain a little bit of time, but I think he's going to need to rely on the couple of back markers ahead of these guys to hold up Helm if Belk is going to get back in with a chance. And you know what Helm is going to get held up? He hesitates for a moment behind the slower cars, and now he's got to get past them through the Lesmos.
Yeah, because that is the GT2 leader Felipe Paiva, so of course he is not going to just move over.
Helm's actually gained some time here on Belk. He got held up significantly by the Cadillac, pulled out another couple of tenths of a second, did Helm.
But now Belk is going to be held up here, I think. Well, not too badly, just runs a little bit wide here, but he's able to make a pass here. But he did still lose a lot of time now. Hjelm is 1.2 seconds behind, in front.
Got a couple of other battles just reigniting out there. Bassett and Sankowski and the call catching back up to one another. We'll have to watch the end of that race. They have just gone a lap down, of course. And we've also got Mueller versus
we have
Murphy
Rivet
as
in the
well.
pits. Is he short on fuel or is that penalty perhaps?
Well, he pitted on lap 3, didn't he?
So you're right.
He must have literally been 1 lap short. Great shame for James Rivet. Good attempt by him. Nicholas Helm is out of draft range on the most part. Belk's still catching him a bit down the straight. But, well, it's going down to 9/10 of a second. You know what? He might actually be quite close by the time we get into the normal circuit, turn 1. Yeah, it's down to 8/10, 3/4 of a second.
But is it going to be enough?
Helm is 295 kilometers. 6/10, 5.5, 5. Also, we've got Mueller and Oosterheit very close to one another. That's about for the final step on the podium. Here comes Belk, though. 3/10 of a second. He's gained 8/10 of a second just on the oval. He's not close enough to the move now, but there might be an opportunity later on in the lap for him to get this race lead and potentially the race win. 6/10 of a second it opened up to, though, to the first chicane.
Yeah, we also have a good battle here for the 3rd place. And also that was just me getting confused with the layout, because of course when we go through the normal turn 1 it's actually not the start finish line over there. But this should still be the final lap.
So Oosterheit got ahead of Mueller, or was that just defending from him? No, he did actually get past, so that's a nice move from Frank. 3/4 of a second between the top 2. I don't think Belk is going to have enough unless there's a mistake from Nicholas Helm. Had a longer
Belk
pit
needs
stop,
to be much closer.
Put the race win in jeopardy. But he's done very well since then. It was that mistake from Belk going wide at the GP circuit a couple of laps ago at the GP turn 1, which perhaps cost him a chance at the race win. But Nicholas Helm in the Obscure Car Challenge is going to approach the line, and he wins at Monza Combined. What a performance.
But 3rd place is still
between Oosterhuis, Can Mueller, oh, it's a neck and neck. Oosterhuis gets it.
And here we have your favorite battle so far.
Very close between DeCourts and Santowski. It looks like DeCourt is going to win that one. What an epic battle between those two.
Yeah, Zentowski just got completely loose there, and that I think cost him the chance. We have Chris Bassett sneaking through these guys here. Let's see, who do we have still running on the track? We have Dan Muller and Robert Murphy. Muller in the Cadillac and Murphy in the Audi. Let's just go on board one more time with the Audi because I really like the sounds. He is quickly catching up to Muller, but is that going to be enough?
The Cadillac seems to be slow coming out of the corners. So if Murphy can nail this Sky chicane, he might be able to get past on the exit. Nah, doesn't look like it's going to happen for him. Half a second, now he's catching a lot actually down this straight. Final corner move perhaps.
Yeah, but now here we come to the difficult part for the Audi. It is going to understeer a lot.
Oh no, understeering away. Oh, the tyres are pretty worn as well on that occasion. And Dan Muller gets 7th place. Murphy in 8th. You know what? Murphy actually closed in quite a bit on the line, didn't he? If he was just a little bit tighter through the parabolica, we really would have had a good chance.
Let's see, that might actually be everyone.
I don't think that's everyone. I think we've still got Herbert Frosch. I think he's already crossed the line. No, that was a lap time. There you go. And that's your race winner as well in the GT1 category. Mm-hmm. Well done to Herbert Frosch. Didn't pay a whole lot of attention to him, but he was very good. There you go. That's doing justice to him. Oh, he's taking the junior layout. I'm not sure if you can go down there or not. I guess not. That'd be a bit of a Mario Kart shortcuts, I imagine. Maybe it's all mud down there. I don't know. That would be very cool. Nicholas Helm, though, wins out. No mud for him. It was very, very good from Nicholas Helm. He dropped back in the early stages, but managed to come back in superb fashion. He wins out as the Triple 7 car from pole position, but it was a lot more complicated than that. Jeffrey Belk finishes in 2nd place. Frank Oosterhuis in 3rd. Maximilian Müller rounding out the top 4. Very close were 3rd and 4th. Then Christopher Mitricion in 5th. James Rivet with that extra pit stop in 6th. And Alex Holloway, car number 1, finishing in 7th. The only retiree in that class was Ash Fletcher. In the GT1s, or the GT Pro, whatever, the 2nd division, Herbert Frosch finished the only driver on the lead lap. In fact, he wasn't quite lapped by Nicholas Helm, so he's technically 1 lap ahead of everyone else. So, good job to him. John Ford in 2nd place there. Chris Bassett was in 3rd. Then it's Robert King, Ian Erasmus, Tom Van Putt, 3 laps down, and then the judges who retired were Gavin Boyette, James King, and Julian Bell. In the 3rd division, so the GT2s and the Audi the Audi GTOs, Felipe Paver won out in comfortable fashion. Brilliant battle though between Casper de Court and Niles Sentkowski. Those two weren't separated for the last half an hour of the race. Richard Bell was in 4th with Martin Kreivik in 5th. Then it was Dan Muller, Robert Murphy, Alexandra Veldman, Taylor Stolworthy, and Brandon Ward. The 2 retirees in that class, Michael Frost and Rolf Anderson. Are we going to have some interviews? Have we? Well, maybe we can post the... Are we having interviews, Sam? I'm just thinking if we are, we could post the Discord link.
Yeah, I've just done that. I'm hoping that we do have some guys coming in.
Awesome. Well, usually this is the point where we have to fill airtime. And we say, what do you think is going to happen in the next round of the championship? But I'm not sure if we're going to be able to broadcast any more of these. But it was amazing fun. I mean, I was a little bit skeptical of having 3 different classes, round Monza combined. I think any sane person would be skeptical, to be fair. but these guys drove really well. I think it was the driving standards. We saw pretty much no crashes on the oval apart from lap 1. I mean, that's mega impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted trying to coordinate some interviews for us.
Awesome.
But it was also nice to see that the sign-ups were a little bit slow at the beginning, but it's good to see that everyone just came together at the end, and we had a actually really good race with 29 cars.
Yeah, very few drivers actually retired from the race. We have got someone waiting for an interview, so I think we're going to drag them up. Not sure who this is. Or yeah, who we get? Oh, the decisions. The decisions. Actually, someone's changed their name. Credit to them. Robert Murphy. I think we are going to have a chat with. So hello, Robert.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Were you racing out there?
Yeah, I was racing in the Audi GTO class.
Awesome. Well, how was it out there? I mean, how did you find the layout, the multi-class interaction? I mean, it's everyone did very good job, but it was very chaotic out there.
The Audi's always a little sketchy on brake, so I had a lot of rough times with the high-speed braking zones, and it also just can understeer suddenly late in the run.
Yeah, it really looked like a tricky car to deal with. You had a nice battle with Dan Muller, I think, in the closing stages. I mean, you were closing in on him going into the Parabolica, but you were just a little bit too far behind on the run to line.
Yeah, it whole shots out of a corner like nothing else on iRacing, but that Cadillac just has so much speed. Like, even in draft, I was not catching it.
And in terms of future events from these league organisers, have you got any other kind of crazy ideas that could perhaps be good races? Because I mean, this one works really well, so I'm sure there's plenty of other ideas that the organisers have. Would you be keen on maybe using a specific car or maybe a specific circuit?
They're talking about some insane idea of running the Xfinity NASCAR on the Nordschleife.
Wow. Okay. Ho ho. Wanna watch that? I mean, that would be absolutely awesome. Fantastic to chat to you, Robert. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we say goodbye?
Yeah, 1 second. Kayan, the developers of Beyond Earth Prologue, kindly provided all this artwork for the car. I simply just put it together.
Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Robert, and hope to see you back soon on Apex Racing TV.
Yep, thanks for having me.
So we'll have a couple more interviews. We'll have a chat with Alexander Veldman next. He was racing in the second or the third division, apologies, in the GT2, I believe. Alexander, how did you find it out there? How was interacting with all those other cars?
It was extremely fun, actually. I'm really happy with how the event went, actually.
Have you got much experience in this car?
No, barely any, really. I think this is like the third or fourth time I run it in a race, actually. And
do you think you're going to run it a whole lot more? I mean, what dragged you to picking that car, and do you think you're going to stick with it for in maybe any other league series, for example?
Probably not any other league series, but me and a teammate are doing the VRS Endurance tomorrow at the Nords with the Ford. And really, the reason I picked it was because nobody else had signed up in it, and I wanted to have all the cars on the track that were available.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for choosing it, because it's a beautiful car, and it's fantastic to see it out on circuit like that. I mean, have you got any experience around this Monza combined circuit as well? It's not used a whole lot, but when we do use it, the racing is absolutely epic.
I haven't had much experience on this layout of the track. No, really, what we did last year towards the autumn winter months, we put up a poll on the forums and asked which track should we use for our next obscure car challenge, and this layout was one of the most voted for, so that's why we picked it really. And before that I haven't really used it.
And have you got any ideas for future events? We've heard maybe Xfinity cars at the Nürburgring. Any ideas for similarly crazy races?
We have like plenty of ideas for upcoming races. It's hard to like pick the cars and tracks because there's just so many ideas, and it takes quite a while to like test everything and make sure everything's balanced and make the classes and actually organize the event. So, for example, we have a upcoming event which will be the Jeddah car on the rallycross circuits for us a cup actually. And we also have an idea of maybe running the next OCC as a test bed for a classic NEC, where we'll use the Nordschleife layout and we'll pick cars to replace the current NEC cars, like GT1 as the GT3 and Jeddah as the TCR and Rough C-Spec as the GT4 Porsche Cup. So we have plenty of the ideas coming.
Awesome. Well, I mean, if I'm not commentating, I'll certainly take part if I possibly can, because this was awesome. Looked like awesome fun out there. Thanks for putting on this event, Alexandra. Much thanks. Is there anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Well, I gotta thank my teammates because they have helped me a lot with this race. Like a lot of the testing, and of course, two of my teammates were dedicated admins for the event, not partaking themselves, just making sure everything went as it should and giving penalties to whoever needed penalties. And yeah, so I'd like to thank my team.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Alexandra. Thanks for putting on this event, and yeah, hope to see more events like this very soon on iRacing.
Thanks for having me.
So next up, we will chat with Jeffrey Belk, who just missed out on winning the DP class and the overall race in the end. Well done, Jeffrey. I mean, it was a really good race, and your battle with Nicholas in those closing stages was really great to watch.
Thank you for that. I know Nicholas was very quick. We saw that in qualifying. He was fastest overall.
And in the in the race, it seemed like Nicholas was pulling away a bit, and then when it came to the pit stops, you managed to make up a big amount of time on him. Why was that? Did you save some fuel, or how did you make up that time during the pits?
After we had got a gap between us, I actually made a pit strategy call to come in a few laps early, and me and my teammate James Rivet hooked up and was able to get some draft. That helped me get a lot closer. I believe at one point we were 40 seconds behind.
And how did you find the passing the Cadillacs in particular? Because those things are ridiculous. Like, they were going 300 Ks just without a slipstream. So it must have been very tricky to overtake them.
Yeah, they are very ridiculous. There was one point where we were coming off of the oval onto the regular main straight, and the Cadillac was actually pulling away.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy speed that they've got. What other events are you and your teammates taking part in at the moment? What official series are you taking part in at the moment?
Right now we're looking at running the NEC Championship when it returns to iRacing, as well as we are doing VRS and IELM.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck in that, Jeffrey. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Just everyone at Mason Motorsports. James Rivet, Rolf Anderson, and Alex Holiday were in the race with us as well. really thank them for everything that they've done for this event, and just everyone else.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Jeffrey, and hope to see you back soon on Apex Racing TV.
Thank you. Have a good day.
So, one more interview. We're allowed one more interview, and I think because we've just spoken to his teammates, we won't speak to one of the drivers. We'll speak to Taylor Stolworthy instead, the 804 driver in the third division of cars. Well done, Taylor. How was that race? I mean, it looked a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Definitely not a great race on the stat sheet. I got in an incident early, but definitely a lot of fun to drive these cars around this great track.
The Cadillacs were so quick. I mean, it must have felt like you were breaking the sound barrier at one point, because you guys were faster than the DPs, it looked like.
Yeah, it's funny because I would be getting lapped by the DPs like going around the oval, and then I would get the slipstream, and I'd actually have to like tuck in behind them to avoid overtaking them and slowing them down. Like, the car is a monster of an engine. Of course, it's a little slower when cornering, but it's a lot of fun to drive, and I really like getting up into like the high, nearly 300 kilometers, I think.
Sam has just reminded me that your car has a very nice livery. Take us through how you came across that livery.
Yeah, well, I found it on Trading Paints, and I was like, I kind of want to run it. I mean, I like Ben & Jerry's ice cream generally, so kind of saw the livery, and I was thinking, you know what? Kind of want to do something special, just something looks kind of cool. And I put it on the car, ran it out in practice, and I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely the livery I want to use.
I mean, it looks properly great, I must say. Also, I saw on the before I turned Trading Paints on, you had a Liverpool badge on your car.
Yep, I was contemplating either running the Liverpool scheme or this scheme, and I just decided this scheme because a little bit nicer. But yeah, that's kind of what I usually run for a lot of it. iRacing, oh no, shoot, like a Liverpool and Peak scheme for like the other series and stuff.
Awesome. Well, it looks very good for you. I mean, do you drive the Cadillac a whole lot? Because the official series, I believe, is quite healthy with the Cadillac. Do you drive it usually?
Not really. I did like a practice race for the series before, and I've driven it a few times, but not really on an official series. And also, really haven't done Monza Historic a lot. I've done the oval when it comes to like the iRacing Cup ones, like the Carburetor Cup when you go around it in reverse. And of course, I've done Monza a lot with old F1 games and stuff.
Well, it's great to watch you out there today, Taylor. Is there anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, definitely would like to thank the people who run the league, because it's definitely a really fun race. This is actually like the first real longer endurance race I've done, and definitely something I want to try to do more of in the future, because this was just a blast.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Taylor, and hope to see you back soon on the channel.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks.
So that was Taylor Stolworthy. I think that pretty much rounds out our interviews for this evening. Once again, thanks to all the league organisers for putting on this event and asking us to broadcast it. It was a lot of fun for me and Sam, and I'm sure it was a lot of fun for all you viewers listening back, and any drivers listening back as well. Thanks for putting on an absolutely awesome event. Of course, on Apex Racing TV, we're just got, what time is it? Okay, currently on the iRacing Esports Network, we are broadcasting the Formula 3.5 Championship. So stop listening to me, pop over to the Esports Network, and you can listen to that instead. Very good action, I'm sure, in the 3.5 Championship. That's the official series. And then tomorrow we have got the Aussie Mixed and Fixed GT Challenge on the morning, for us Europeans at least. And then we've got the Sim Race Sport Endurance Championship in the afternoon. Then we've got the Apex Racing League GT Championship as well in the evening. And on Monday, we've got the World GT Championship. That's on the iRacing Esports Network. We've got Sim Racers World GT Championship on Wednesday. Loads of stuff. Subscribe to the Esports Network. Subscribe to Apex Racing TV. Turn on notifications. You can check out all our broadcasts. You will not regret it, I'm sure. And also, please check out our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. But from me and from Sam, we're going to say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.